Hey everybody, welcome to Simpletoons. My name's Arrow and let's get into it. Before you start, make sure you have your pencil, a separate eraser, and an ink pen or marker, something that's permanent. Today we're going to draw a dinosaur. There's a lot of different dinosaurs that we can draw. I'm going to pick one that I think everybody likes, and that's called Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's one of my favorite dinosaurs to draw, and later on we'll draw some more dinosaurs, but this is the one I'm going to pick for today. Okay, let's start. We're going to start off with a simple circle right here. We're going to make it probably just a little bit bigger than your hand. Actually, let's go a little bit smaller, probably about the size of an egg. That's a pretty good size. So I'm going to draw an egg. Okay, and then we're going to draw the body. This is going to be the head. And then the body, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down and we're going to draw a circle about the same size, but we're going to make it more of a vertical shape. So it'll look like this. And as I say in every video, we want to draw as light and as soft as we can because we're going to erase these lines here in a little bit. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a triangle. And the triangle is going to be his tail. So we're going to start here at the base and it's going to come back and back like this. Okay, now you can see what's going to happen. This is going to be his head, this body's going to come down, and then this is going to be his tail. So now what we need to do is we need to get something in line for his legs. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a circle here, and then another circle over here. So we have two little circles right next to one another. Then we're going to draw another circle. That's going to be the lower part of his leg. And the same thing here. Now, one way we could draw this is we could draw one large circle. But I want to do this because what we want to do is we want to create a joint here. And we do this a lot when we draw people. Like if I were to draw my hand, we would draw a circle here, a circle here, and another circle here. And if I wanted to make my finger bend, I could do that by just moving the circles. Well, we're doing kind of the same thing here with his leg. I'm going to draw this top part of his leg. His knee is going to be right here, and then this is going to be his lower part of the leg. All right, once that's done, let's do is the arms. And the arms are going to be kind of the same thing. We're going to draw little tiny arms because that's kind of, you know, what a Tyrannosaurus Rex has. And we're going to draw a little circle, and that's his upper arm. And then we're going to draw another little circle, and that's going to be his forearm. We'll do the same thing on the other side. A little circle here, and a little circle there. Okay, now, after we do this, we got to draw his feet. Now his feet are going to be more like claws, kind of like what we'd see on a bird, and we can have some fun with this. Let's pretend that, just to get the idea of the shape of his feet, let's just draw a square, like a rectangle like this. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll draw a rectangle here to represent his other foot, which is going to be behind this foot. But you're going to kind of get, you know, draw it in so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like. Okay, and then what we'll do is these rectangles are going to be rounded off. So if you want to take the end of this this rectangle and round it off, that'll kind of make it a little bit more look like make it look a little bit more like a foot. Same thing here, we'll round it off. And I'll explain a little bit more what we're going to be doing with that here in just a second. Okay, his hands. Let's talk about his hands. Hands are the same thing. For right now, let's just draw little tiny rectangles to represent what his hands are going to be. Same thing here. Alright, now that you have that done, we're going to do one more thing here before we start finishing this in. On the circle here, his eyes are going to be on the top. At least that's where I'd like to put them. You can put them anywhere you want. I'm going to put his eyes right here. So I'm going to kind of draw little circles to represent his eyes. And then what I'm going to do, the circle, I'm going to kind of draw a line here just to represent where his mouth is going to be. Make him smiling here. All right, can you kind of see where things are going to go here? This is going to be his eyes. This is going to circle around and come down, and the same thing will happen here. This is going to come around down here and continue through. So all these lines in here are going to be erased. Same thing here. This will come around. This will be his body. Alright, let's get the ink pen out, and this will be a little bit more clear as I ink it in, and I think you'll understand a little bit more. Chances are pretty good. This one's a pretty tough one to draw. Chances are pretty good you might have messed it up along the way, but that's okay. You can go back and look at it. That's what's so wonderful about video. Okay, as we always say, we want to draw things that are closest to us and work our way back. The closest thing to us right now are going to be his eyes, his forearm, and his legs on this side, or his left arm and his left leg. So let's start at the top, and I'm going to draw his eyes. Now normally when we do cartoons, or at least when you do cartoons with me, I usually do the eyes last. But in this case, I want to draw the eyes first, and the reason for that is because they're going to be on top of his head. In other words, the line isn't going to go all the way over the top of his eyes. They're going to go behind his eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink in his face and bring it around. So we're going to go up, around, and down, and I'm going to stop right where his mouth would be, and I'm going to bring his mouth in and give his mouth. Now you notice I didn't draw his chin yet, and the reason I didn't draw that is because we're going to continue from here and bring it out, so it makes it look like he has a lower chin, or lower part of his mouth. So we'll bring this in like that. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing with the back. We're going to bring the back, we're going to draw it all the way down and around and create his tail. What I'm going to do here at the bottom of the tail is I'm going to sweep it a little bit to kind of give it a look of, it will make it look like a tail. I'm having trouble talking tonight. Okay, so I'm going to bring this out, around, and kind of do one of these. So I kind of ignored the triangle, but that's okay. The reason I did that is I wanted to just kind of get an idea how big the tail is going to be, and then I just kind of imagined it a little bit as I drew it. Alright, from here we're going to take this line and we're going to bring it around and down, and I'm going to be very careful that I don't draw over this leg, because that leg is going to be on the top. In fact, let's go ahead and draw the leg first, since it's going to be the closest to us. We talked about that before. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down, and it's two circles, but we're not going to need these lines in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it around and down and stop at his foot. Like that. Then I'm going to do the same thing in the back, but I'm not going to start at the top. I'm going to start about halfway down and draw from here to here. Okay, now we can draw in his belly and everything. And this is going to be a line that's going to come along and run all the way to the back side of his tail. We just have to be very careful that we don't draw over his foot. This will come around and stop. And then we'll continue it all the way through and around and back. It's coming along pretty nicely. For his arm, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring this line around, down, and draw his hand, and then come back up again. And I'm not going to draw this line in here. Got a little more shadows than I normally do. I'll have to fix that. Okay, so we're going to come down like this. And the same thing on the other side. See how I left that open in there? And then for his hand, I'm just going to put kind of little webs like this. Okay, let's talk about his feet. Now, what we do with his feet is they're kind of claws, kind of like this. If you can picture it, they're going to be like this. So what I want to do is I want to draw toes, and I'm going to bring this out and draw toes like that. That's just one toe. The second toe, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to bring it out and down. So we're just going to keep overlapping circles. And then one more. Usually 3 works pretty well. That's his front leg, or his left leg. Now we're going to draw his right leg, and the same thing happens. We're going to bring this down, bring it out, we're going to draw his first toe. There's his leg. And then we'll draw the toe. 1, 2, 3. Don't have to worry about the back because that's being covered up. Okay, something else I'm going to do on his feet is I'm going to draw little claws. One there, one there. Okay, and we'll do the same thing in the back. Just give him one claw. All right, now we got to put the other arm on here. Now, because it's on the other side of the body, I'm going to bring it down, out, and up. We don't want to draw over the top of this anywhere. All right, now draw his nose in. 2 dots, that'll be fine. And what you can do, since it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, you know, the one we're drawing here is kind of friendly, but we can still draw some teeth in. So we'll draw little teeth. You can put them up if you want as well. I just put them on the bottom. And then don't forget the eyes, 2 dots. And one thing I'm going to do here, we can put some eyebrows on there. I'm going to make him a little bit meaner. We're going to talk about eyes on another episode, but for right now, I'm going to bring them down like this. Kind of makes them look a little scary. And we'll put the ground in behind him. Alright. Kind of a goofy looking dinosaur, isn't it? Okay, after all that is done, you take your eraser. We're going to erase all these pencil lines. And it'll hopefully give us a nice looking Tyrannosaurus Rex. Alright. Not bad. Something else that we can do if you want to add a little bit more detail to him. Some people like to put bellies on them, so you can draw a secondary kind of line over the top here that gives them a belly. Another thing we can do is we can put kind of scale his feet a little bit. You can put ridges in his feet to give it the, the impression more of a, he's got angles or ridges in his feet. I don't know how to describe that. And finally, the last thing we can do if you want is we can draw scales on him, and what would be really cool about this is just a little bit kind of a bonus here, so we can turn him into a dragon. And the way we do that is we can just draw scales, just draw little ones here and there. And then what we do is we draw shark fins all the way down, like this. And then 3 spikes at the end. And what we've done is we've taken our Tyrannosaurus Rex and we've turned him into a dragon, which is kind of cool. And we'll stop there. I'm going to try to keep this short. If you like what we did, please do me a favor, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up on this. That helps me get the videos in better search results. And more importantly, if you have any suggestions or comments that you'd like of animals you'd like to see drawn, please let me know down below. If you have any questions, please ask me down below as well. Thanks again for visiting Simpletoons. My name's Errol. We'll see you next time.